back to Cask 529. I'm Bryan.
And I'm Shona.
Tonight we're coming at you with our last episode of 2023.
We are.
We've been at this since June. I can't believe we've been doing it that long.
Yep.
We have accumulated a pretty decent bourbon selection. I think we only had maybe a handful of bottles when we started.
We did. And we've learned a lot this year about different bourbons. We discovered the other night that the bourbon Bryan thought was his all-time favorite is not truly his favorite.
I still drink it pretty regular.
He does.
But yeah, it's not.
It's become more of your mixer than your sipper.
Yeah, it really has. Mm-hmm. And even at that, I've found other mixers that.
Oh, yep. Absolutely.
That I like. So as we continue this journey, it seems like we keep evolving.
We do. Absolutely.
Finding new things, things we like better than others that we thought were the greatest.
Yep.
Maybe not the greatest, but.
So tonight we're coming at you with our favorites of 2023, which include our go-to bourbon whiskey, or like our daily or weekly pour.
Our favorite, easy to find bourbon.
And our favorite limited release or allocated bourbon of 2023.
I think it's a pretty good list we've come up with.
We do, and we're both different. Yeah. But honestly, we struggled on one. Actually, there was a couple that we were both kind of the same one. But we ended up different.
We kind of changed up one of the categories a little bit because the other night when I did my solo show, I said that Horse Soldier was my favorite daily, which really maybe wasn't accurate. We're going to get to that. It's still on the list. It's still going to be on the show tonight. So you want to start?
I do. So my go-to whiskey, bourbon of the day, week, however you want to say it, because I don't always have bourbon every day. In fact, the last week I haven't had anything, or last several days, I should say. So my go-to, which is really, it shocks me, but it doesn't shock me in a way because it is still in the Woodford Reserve family. But it is the Woodford Reserve wheat and not the regular Woodford straight whiskey. So I would have to say, as you can tell, this is probably my second bottle. And
you really took a liking to that Woodford wheat once you opened the first one.
I did. And so this one, if I just want to pour bourbon and I don't want to think about what I'm getting or anything else, I know that this one I'm going to enjoy. So I just grab a pour of this one and I'm happy.
Definitely lots of happiness going out of that bottle.
Yes, and so that is only in the $36.99 range here in Ohio. And so great price for a weekly, daily pour.
So that brings us to my favorite go-to daily, which I had said the other night was going to be the Horse Soldier, but we've moved that into a different category actually. If we're just sitting around and we want to have a pour bourbon at night, what I'm going to 9 times out of 10 is actually going to be and I said I'd be right where it was at.
You didn't.
The Wild Turkey Rare Breed at 116 proof. And as you can see, like with Shona, there's a fair amount missing out of that bottle. It's just, we've evolved into higher proofs. I started this journey out when we first started with Angel's Envy. I poured Angel's Envy almost nightly.
You did.
And pretty quickly, once we started building our collection, opening our palates up to new things, we both went higher proof, really.
Well, I mean, I feel like this one is still about the same proof that I was always drinking, but you're absolutely correct, and I do like the higher proof because I think you get more flavors and more taste and stuff like that out of them. Now, I would like to share why this one is my favorite. The wheated bourbons, they have a little bit more sweetness, and I found that I like more of a sweeter tasting bourbon. And that this one also has that cherry note that I really enjoy. And so that's why this one is easily my go-to pour.
And you talk about the cherry a lot. Yeah.
How about yours, Wise?
I like the flavors that you get out of the higher proof. I go to the rare breed simply because price point, really. $49 here in Ohio for the rare breed, which is pretty reasonable for a higher proof bourbon. We have some 100 proof stuff that's even more reasonable than that. But I like that. I like that stiffer. I like the flavors that, like you mentioned, that come out of it. And so that's kind of why I go towards the rare breed. The Horse Soldier is 5 proof points higher, but it's also $40 higher. So this is a great midpoint there, and a great place to stop to have that pour.
Yep. So our next category is our favorite easy to find bourbon or whiskey of 2023. And mine, and if you've watched the show much, I know that most of you probably can pick this one because it has won the most of my blind reviews this year so far. And that would be the Four Roses Single Barrel. Now, as we know in a previous episode, we tasted 3 or 4 of these, I can't remember, and they obviously all had a little bit different flavor because they are single barrels, but this one still has that cherry note that I love. It's $49.99, so it's a great price point, but it's not as cheap as the Woodford Reserve. But honestly, this would have to be my favorite easy to find bourbon of 2023. It wins almost every time for me.
It really does. Now, do you get the leather out of that? I don't remember if that's one you get leather out of.
I do not. No. I like that leather taste.
If we could put some leather in there for you.
But truly, what I have found that I have enjoyed the most this year is the just that sweetness and the cherry notes, of course the caramel, the vanilla, all that, but I really enjoy that cherry note in my bourbon. So that's why those two are up there.
I was just going to say 2 bourbons so far, 2 cherry notes.
Yep.
So my favorite easy to find bourbon of 2023, now we come back to the other night, and we come back to the Horse Soldier barrel strength, 121 proof. As recently as probably we started our journey, this was not easy to find in Ohio. It wasn't necessarily allocated. You just didn't find it sitting on the store shelves. Now I know at our local liquor store, anytime we walk in there, you can find any of the 3 varieties of Horse Soldier. And again, for me, it's that proof point. It's that spice. Those are the things that I like out of the Horse Soldier.
And I think you like the story behind it too. So.
And being a veteran, the story behind it is there's other veteran bourbons that we have that are really good too.
Absolutely.
And it's almost a toss up, but this is the one I lay claim to. Okay.
All right, so our favorite limited release or allocated whiskey / bourbon of 2023. And this one is a new one, but I can't help how delicious it is. It had to instantly win for me. And that is High West, a Midwinter's Night Dram. This is absolutely one of the most flavorful bourbons that I have had, whiskeys that I have had, because it is high rye, whiskeys that I have had this year so far. I mean, as soon as it hits your palate, it just opens up and has all kinds of flavors, and it truly is, I think I referred to it as heaven in your mouth. It's, Christmas in your mouth, whatever you want to say. It's so good and full of flavors. It's just a remarkable one. Unfortunately, it is very hard to find. I don't know if it's allocated or just limited released, to be honest. It does come in at around $150 mark, but it is a truly delicious high rye whiskey. And I will tell you, the bottle is really cool, and I never noticed this just till the other night when I was showing it to someone. There's actually little bubbles in the glass that makes the glass actually sparkle in the light. So it's a really cool bottle as well. And you know, I'm all for my pretty bottles.
Now, I've actually done some reading on this since we've got this bottle. And my understanding is the earlier releases of this, everybody loved it. And that may be what caused it to be so hard to find, okay? This is actually this bottle is actually Act 11. My understanding is up till Act 9, it was really good. 9 and 10 were and it kind of actually turned people away.
Oh, wow.
But I've read where 11, a lot of people are on board with our thoughts on that.
Well, good news is they turned it back around, and this one is very good.
And we may have liked 9 and 10, you know, we never had it.
Never had it, probably won't have it, so.
Right, yeah, absolutely. Okay, so that brings us to mine, which Shona actually allowed me to enjoy a pour of it tonight during the show.
He acts like I'm so mean, everybody.
Well, we have some other things coming down the pike that we were saving a couple of these for. So I never really asked to drink any of our really, really hard to find bourbons because I know we have other things coming that we want to do with them. It's a toss-up for me. One of them would have been a Remus Gatsby, which we both thought was phenomenal.
It was phenomenal.
We couldn't wait. When I got that bottle home from the liquor store, I took a nap because I went to the store at 4 in the morning. But immediately we did a show on a review on it because we couldn't wait to open it. However, for my 2023 allocated or limited release, I'm going with the Joseph Magnus Cigar Blend. It's actually a little easier to find than that Remus Gatsby.
Absolutely, it's a lot easier to find. In fact, it's been released several times throughout this fall.
And I didn't go, but I actually believe they had it Saturday.
Yeah.
I think I could have, you know, if I needed it, I think I could have gone and got it this past Saturday. But yeah, we seem to find it through our research that it's released quite frequently now. That wasn't the case when we got that.
No, and from my understanding, it's only released in the fall. So it's just a fall release, and you just, you know, depending on how your area is, because it is a $200 bottle, so it's really just how quickly it gets bought up.
Right. So that would be my favorite limited release or allocated bottle for 2023. I won't say we had a ton of those, say, unicorns.
Nope.
I mean, we had allocated. You know, you've got your Blantons and you've got your Eagle Rare and E.H. Taylor.
Yes.
Although they are allocated, I don't necessarily call those really special.
I mean, they're not as special because they do get released. Yeah. And you can go down to the distillery and get them on the days that they are released. So, and we're only a few hours away from the distillery, so we have more of a chance to get those than other people may. So yeah, I would say the Buffalo Trace didn't really come in for us. However, on the allocated part of it.
That's not that we dislike the Buffalo Trace line.
Well, there is.
The line.
There is one.
The line. As a whole.
We do not. No, we do like it. But it's not our favorite.
No, it's not. And it's, you know, we kind of wanted to highlight things that were a little more rare than those things. So that's our line for 2023.
Yeah.
We've had a great time with the show.
We have.
We started this show because Shona and I have a hard time relaxing.
and sitting down and making ourselves stop. But as you can tell, we didn't have many shows in December. That's our busiest month for his woodworking business. And so it was really hard to get in front of the camera.
It was.
And so we did not do a great job of making ourselves stop. We promised to get better at that starting in the new year.
But not only did we have customer orders, but we were also
working on our own
building
stuff.
the basement, basically.
Yep.
Which is where we're at now. So it was nonstop. That's behind us. There's still some finishing touches, but the worst of it's over, and we're not really on a schedule now where we were for that.
Yep.
So that's why this started, was to force us to sit down at night, relax, talk a little bit, have a drink, and just enjoy our time together. So we hope to get back to that.
Yes.
We hope to grow our collection by a couple more bottles, maybe.
Maybe a couple more. I am excited. We did get a couple new ones that I'm anxious to taste. Give me a couple more days and I'll be probably ready to taste again.
We actually do. We have several that we haven't.
Yeah, so I'm super excited about that. And I'm excited to get the bar finished. I mean, I am. So I know that we have a few other little tiny projects, and then Bryan's back on the bar, and I'm back working, helping get the rest of the basement finished. So that way we can give you all a tour.
Yeah, absolutely. We promised that from the start. We gave a couple tours when it looked like a construction zone.
Yes.
And we really haven't. I mean, you've seen the immediate bar area, but that's it, really, is all you've seen.
So we will get back on that. Hey, reminder, we did not make our 500 subscriber goal for the end of the year to get that bottle of Stag out to someone, some lucky winner. So please press on, help us get to 500 subscribers so we can get that bottle of Stag out. We would love to give that away in the month of January.
I think we need 104 subscribers.
Okay, 104. Get your friends on it.
And once we get there, just like with the Weller Antique, we will get the Stag right out. So
yes, absolutely.
Help us get there, guys. I hope everyone had a wonderful 2023.
Yes.
And with the ball dropping tonight, I hope 2024 is even better and more prosperous than 2023 was.
Right. Be sure to leave us a comment on what your favorites are in these three categories, and also what your pour is for New Year's Eve. I know Bryan's pour is probably going to remain that cigar blend, my guess is, because I told him he could.
Not sure. We'll see how that goes. Okay, guys. Thanks again for joining us, and have a great night.
Thanks, everyone.